guys, welcome back to the channel, Distant Gooner TV. Keep it here for all of your transfer rumours around Arsenal Football Club. Wherever you are in the world, you know what to do. Make sure you like the video, make sure you subscribe to the channel, don't miss any news by hitting that notification bell. Let's get into the transfer roundup. And to be honest, it's just been shit, hasn't it? I mean, as an Arsenal fan, you know, yes, we're prone to get frustrated in the transfer window because we know how this club goes about its business, or doesn't, should I say. And, you know, I appreciate it's the 18th of June, but man, I mean, let me know, please, in your comments, but I am thoroughly fed up with it already. You know, by the hour, I'm constantly flicking through the phone, waiting on some news, waiting on a new signing to come through the door. We were told to get excited. It was going to be a summer of business dealings, proactiveness, oh man, and just nothing is happening. But meanwhile, we sit here and other clubs are going about their business: Liverpool, Man City, Man United, and there seems to be now a plethora of activity really throughout the league in terms of, you know, incomings, and we're just left still talking about Sesko, Gyökeres. Who's it going to be, if any of them? Plan C, Watkins. Plan D, Vlahovic. Hearing all of this stuff, it's just, I mean, you would think that last summer we all knew what we needed, didn't we? We all knew, the whole fucking world knew what Arsenal Football Club needed. And if they didn't know this inside the club, certainly come January, you would have expected, you know, they didn't spend any money, so you would think that they were keeping that money back and going for it full throttle in the summer transfer window. And you would think also that in those positions, such as Andrea Berta, that they would have the plan of action. So they would already know the players that they would want to get in the summer. And it would appear to me anyway, and I'm only going on obviously the rumours that we read in the papers and stuff like that, that they haven't. You know, they're still deliberating on, you know, which striker to get. You know, whether that be about the price or the qualities of the player or whatever, it still strikes me as fucking incompetent, to be honest. I mean, you would think you would have a plan of action going into summer. You know the names you're going to go for. And yes, there would be alternatives. I mean, there's going to be a plan B, a plan C. But, yeah, it just feels like there's not a clear path at the moment in terms of what we want. And, you know, all the rumours are that we're not willing to pay the Sesko price as it stands. You know, it was all positive a couple of weeks ago, but now being reported widely, I think it's Sky Germany, that Leipzig are asking for somewhere between 68, 80 million pounds, which is obviously a lot of money. But let's face it, if you're going to go and buy top strikers in Europe, then that's the money you've got to pay. And that's not bad. You know, you're looking at probably top strikers in excess of 100 million. So, you know, in the grand scheme of things, and the Gyökeres one, we know, I mean, all right, it's been kind of talked about that this gentleman's agreement isn't there and Gyökeres is not happy with that. But if it was, we're talking, what, around £60 million? And it's, you know, if there isn't that agreement in place, yeah, you're probably looking at the same as what the Sesko price would be. You know, I wouldn't blame them asking for anywhere between 60 and 80 million based on the numbers that he's been bagging over the last few seasons. I mean, it's perfectly justified. But yeah, it still seems to be just an ongoing, protracted debate from Arsenal Football Club as to who they want out of these two. And honestly, I can see this happening now that, you know, somebody like a Chelsea, for argument's sake, somebody will just swoop in and just get one of these players and get these deals done. And then we're left kind of in a position where you're scrambling around trying to work out alternatives if they're not there in the first place. Now, the alternative that's been talked about certainly over the last week has been Ollie Watkins yet again. You know, 30 plus. He's got ability. He's obviously an Arsenal fan as well. You know, he plays particularly well against us. Look, he's a good player, don't get me wrong. And he'd certainly probably do a job. But he's not the answer. He's not somebody that you want to go out and get that's going to take you to the next level, that's going to win you titles, you know, winning Europe in the Champions League. He's just not elite level players, which is what we need to take that next step. You know, he's a cheap alternative, and I don't mean that disrespectfully, but he is. And This is what the club just love doing. They love going for these cheap alternatives. I mean, the Vlahovic one, I can't even believe that rumour is even coming out again. I mean, how many times are we going to be linked with this player? I don't think he's that great. And to be perfectly honest, if the rumours were true and we were, strongly interested on a number of occasions, he's turned us down to go to Juventus. Well, I don't fucking want him anyway. He didn't want to come to the club, so let's just move on to alternatives. But yeah, I mean, the Gyökeres one seems to have gone a bit quiet. I mean, the same stories just keep being regurgitated. I said this on another video, but it does appear that at the moment you see a lot of these rumours in the papers, and there's no real new news. It's just rehashing the same stories about this potential release clause, that he hasn't got a release clause, that he's not happy, that, so I just don't really know what to make of it, to be honest. But it is getting to the point, people, and please, I want to hear what you guys think on this one, because I am getting to the point where it's like, there was a debate with Arsenal fans, would you prefer Sesko, would you prefer Gyökeres? And now I'm honestly getting to the point where I couldn't give a fuck. I just want one of them or another. We just need to get a striker through the door and in the club. And it's just getting me fucking frustrated. If we're going to haggle and not get one of these players, let's just move on to an alternative then and just try and get that done. Because, like we've said, if you're going for titles, you need to be prepared. We need to have these players through the door, ready to have a good pre-season so they can hit the ground running. There is no point in having this protracted debate over the summer, getting somebody through the door at the last minute who isn't fully fit. I ranted about this actually on a previous video. I'm just repeating myself, but it just frustrates me that, we're going to get somebody through at the last minute who's probably not fit enough to play, so he can't hit the ground running, or he gets injured, or more likely that he wasn't the first choice anyway, and we've just protracted the debate and had to then just get anybody we can, aka Sterling last season. Yeah, it's just so frustrating. And again, why are we being linked with defenders? Laporte that I've seen mentioned, Hato from Ajax. I mean, the Laporte one has got to be a fucking joke. It really has. I think it's just any ex-Man City player is just linked with us just because of Arteta. The guy's on 400 grand a week. I'd say, don't quote me on this. He's got to be getting on. I think he's got to be around 30. But anyway, and why on earth would we be interested in him? We've got Gabriel, we've got Saliba, we've got Kivior, we've got Calafiori who could play there, we've got Tomiyasu who could play there, we've got Ben White. How many defenders, Timber, how many defenders do we actually need at this football club? It's just ridiculous. Honestly, fucking ridiculous. But yeah, I can honestly see it happening. I can honestly see our first signing being a defender. And I don't get it. I do not get what Arteta is thinking about here. And in terms of other rumours, well, Partey, I'm hearing rumours that talks may have collapsed over a renewal there. So I'd be really, really disappointed, I have to say, if that is the case. He's been one of our best players, certainly over last season. We know his problem has been at Arsenal, his fitness. It's his availability during the games. That's been the biggest letdown from Thomas Partey. But his ability on the pitch is unquestioned. Certainly this year, we've already got rid of Jorginho. So, we would potentially need backup for there anyway. Yes, Zubimendi may come through the door. But on that note, all right, I'm hearing for financial reasons that's going to be announced early July. So let's just hold that thought for July. But believe you me, if we're a week into July and it still hasn't happened, I'll be ranting again about that one. But let's say we get him through the door. We still, and Partey goes, then we're going to need somebody else. And where's this money coming from? We're penny pinching up front. We're not willing to pay the amounts. So how are we going to buy the striker that we need, the winger that we need, goalkeeper that we know we need, and then go out and buy a midfielder? Honestly, we know how this club works, and I just cannot see it happening. I'd love them to prove me wrong, but I just think, again, we're going to go into a season where we're not, capitalising, or we're not improving from where we were, just as we did last season. You know, I can see us going into the season with Havertz up front. You know, if we get the likes of a Sesko, fine, but I reckon he'll come in and be on the bench initially and work his way into the team, hopefully. So you look at it and think, where's the fucking improvement? And if Partey goes and Zubimendi comes in, well, I'm not sure who's the better player, to be honest, in terms of playing that number 6 position, especially in this league. I'm just, you know, it's that old story. I've seen him. He's got great abilities, Zubimendi, but, you know, he's small. I just wonder, you know, he's going to take time to adapt to the Premier League. Is he going to be up for that physical battle like a Thomas Partey is? Time will tell. The winger situation, well, Rodrigo continues to be linked. I honestly can't see this happening, to be honest. I would absolutely love it to happen. I really, really would. I mean, I did see an interesting comment in, I think it was the Express this morning, and they were talking about Rodrigo and saying that we could be, again, priced out of going for him. It's like, you know, we've got no money at all. I don't know where this story comes from, but there's got to be money there. We don't fucking spend anything. But anyway, they were talking about, you know, that we were being priced out of a move for him. But the figures that they talked about were £77 million. And I'm like, bloody hell, if he's £77 million, I would absolutely snap him up tomorrow. That's absolutely a ridiculous price. To me, that's a fucking bargain. Surely you've got to be looking in excess of 100 million for Rodrigo. So I don't believe that story, because I think, God, if it's 77 million, if we were quibbling over that, I'd be proper pissed off. So, but, you know, I just think that I can't see him moving, to be honest. Nico Williams, the other ongoing saga, shall we say. To me, it looks more and more that he's going to stay in Spain. Whether that be at Bilbao, who seem to be prepared to want to offer him increased wages, so something more in the region of what he was asking for from other clubs, which is something like 200, 250k a week. And it looks like Barcelona have stolen a march in terms of trying to get him as well. I know Bayern have been linked, so it looks like we're missing out there as well. So I wonder what Plan C, Plan D looks like in terms of a winger, because I'm not seeing any obvious targets out there that we're going for. You know, there's the likes of Semenya and people like that, but there's no real kind of links there. So it'd be interesting to see what happens on that wide left. I mean, I've always liked, to be honest, not that he always plays left, he probably plays more central, but Justin Kluivert from Bournemouth, I think, would be worth a shout. I don't think that Bournemouth would ask a lot of money, and I think he's obviously Premier League proven. He had a great season last year. I think he'd be a quality addition, to be honest. I hope the next time that we speak that we've got something positive to go on. I really do. And, you know, if you're feeling as frustrated as I am, please get in touch. Let's help each other out, because it's doing my fucking head in. You know, and let me know in terms of who you would like, as always, through the door. What are your favoured options in terms of strikers, left wingers, all of that good stuff. And as always, thanks for being here. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, keep it here at Dissident Gooner TV. I've got your back wherever you are in the world. See you next time, guys.